Have you ever poured your heart into a big idea, launched it with everything you had, and then it flopped? Back in 2022, I was right there. I tried to launch a Disney business retreat. I personally invited 40 people and only one signed up. Ouch. But just a few months ago, I finally made that dream a reality. I sold out my very first Make More Magic retreat at Walt Disney World, but without being pushy or salesy or stressing it. And I want to share exactly how that happened. By the end of this episode, you'll learn how to go from struggling to sell your dream idea to confidently making it happen with clients who are so excited they demand their friends join in. And it all starts with what I did before I built it. Welcome to the Establish Yourself podcast, the show that helps coaches and consultants get clear on how to talk about what you do, simplify your offers, and have more fun in your business and beyond. I'm Annie Franceschi, brand strategist, author, former Disney storyteller, and forever Muppet fan. I'm here to help you clarify your message, package your expertise, and streamline your systems to grow a business you actually enjoy. If you're ready for less confusion and more magic, it's time to establish yourself. All right, let's rewind to 2021. I had this vision. I was like, I love Disney and I love coaching and consulting for entrepreneurs. Could I take everybody on a Disney cruise to dream big and bring more magic into their businesses? I even named it Make More Magic. I recruited 2 other speakers. I sent 40 personal invitations and I crossed my fingers. And as I shared, I had only one sign up. I had to cancel it. I was pretty heartbroken. I just really couldn't understand. I thought it was such a great idea, but why didn't anybody else? In hindsight, it turns out it wasn't just a timing issue. Though, yes, I was trying to do this in post pandemic time, and some people don't even like cruises. But the real reason I think I had built this whole thing based on assumptions and dreams, but not actual feedback. Most of us, especially those of us who've been in business for a while, we get big ideas and we think we know what people want. And we certainly know what we want. So we make assumptions. We build in a vacuum. And then when that doesn't work, it feels kind of personal. But I've learned that the best ideas can fail, not because they're bad, but because they're built on us just guessing. And when you spend hours crafting a beautiful offer or pouring energy into planning only to get crickets, it's very easy to lose confidence. That's what I want to help you avoid. But, ultimately that failure planted a lot of seeds. I decided I still wanted to go. So I did a peer mastermind on a Disney cruise with one of the original speakers, my virtual assistant, Sarah. And that was something that was so fun. We did it in 2023 and in 2024. I kept the dream alive in some fashion. It even became something that allowed me to get quoted in Forbes. There was a reporter looking for stories about failures that turned into something else, and I shared this specific story. So I lived out the dream in different ways, but in my heart, I just still had this idea, and it lived on quietly until this year. Okay, so what finally really worked? What made the difference from putting this idea out there and it flopping to it being a sellout? I stopped assuming. Instead, I did these 3 powerful things. One, I validated the idea before I officially built anything. 2, I listened and adapted my plans based on real feedback. And 3, I trusted the process and I let it unfold with zero pressure. Let's dive into what that looked like and how you can use the same system to bring your big idea to life, whether that is a retreat, a workshop, a program, another exciting experience you want to offer in your business. The first thing I want you to know is to ask before you build. Don't build in the dark, shine a light by asking for feedback, maybe with a survey. I still had this idea of a Disney retreat on my heart, and I imagined that maybe it'd be a little easier to sell it if it were in Orlando and not on a cruise. Some people have issues with seasickness, right? And this summer, In July, I was on a solo business retreat for a couple days, doing some planning for the upcoming quarter. And before I left, I was sitting in beautiful Barcelona lounge at Coronado Springs Resort. I said, you know what? I'm going to stop wondering and find out if there's any interest in this. So, literally, before I left Walt Disney World, I sent out this survey and it simply said, who wants to go to Disney with me next year? I sent out that email and I thought, man, I'll be lucky if I get like 5 or 6 responses to this. I got close to 40. 40 people filled this out from as far away as Australia. I was absolutely blown away. And what this told me was that there was a lot of interest in this particular idea, in this particular configuration. I kept the survey very simple, but it was very strategic. I asked around like how long it should be, what should be included, if people wanted to share rooms, what people would want to get out of it as a goal and as benefits. And this was so worth doing because it not only confirmed the interest, it shaped the actual retreat itself. The retreat became a collaboration and not just my vision for it. The second thing I want you to be thinking about is to design based on the demand. Let real feedback guide what you create. One great example of this is that one of the respondents to the survey said, hey, it would be really cool if you let attendees also be speakers. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is so brilliant. Like, how fun would it be to be able to go on something like this and to be able to be like, hey, I'm a featured speaker at Walt Disney World for a business retreat. So that actually has become what I'm calling our magic talks. These are 15-minute little lightning sessions where each of our attendees is going to share something from their core expertise or from running their business that has brought more magic to the work they do. So amazing. And I never would have had that idea. I'm so grateful. You know, this retreat has become so much more aligned with what my ideal clients actually want, which is turning it into a complete no brainer. The easier it is to say yes to something, the more your offer is a no brainer, the more yeses you get, the more conversion you see. So I want to encourage you to be thinking about this if you haven't already put together a survey and if you aren't asking strategic questions in it. I want you to use open ended questions, look for patterns. You can use AI to analyze the results. I did that and looked especially at folks that I thought would be a great fit for this experience and looked at what they said and when they would be available. I even asked about months of the year. This gave me so much information to serve it up on a silver platter and make this a no brainer offer. This is a moment I think where you can let go of the perfect plan if it's not what people are actually saying they want and what they want to pay for. And if it's anything like my experience, you can actually make a better plan than what was in your brain. As I went through this, I went, oh, no wonder. I wish I had done this in 2021. I probably would have had a different outcome. Now, the third thing I want you to know that I teach you about your offers and generally how to work with you is to make it easy. Make it an easy yes. We often don't even realize how much friction we're putting into things. When you create an offer that fits what people are asking for, it sells itself. I took all this survey input and created Make More Magic, happening this February. It is a 3-night retreat at Walt Disney World for coaches, consultants, and service based business owners who want to bring more magic to their business, their clients, and themselves as entrepreneurs. Everything is anchored by my new 1-page planning tool, the Magic Map, that helps you brainstorm ways to bring more joy, ease, fulfillment, and delight into every part of your business. We're doing a full day of retreat programming that will be shared by me and others sharing the magic that's come into their business. And then I'm super excited for our second full day. We're going to spend that in the parks. We're going to start our day in Magic Kingdom and end it at Epcot. It's going to be part inspiration and part immersion in a global brand that's known for delivering exceptional customer experience. This is going to be a day to remember why we started our businesses and what we want them to feel like going forward. So it's not just a retreat, it's a reset, a reminder, an experience that I hope my attendees are going to carry with them long after that last ride. I put together the vision for Make More Magic that I just shared with you onto a simple sales page. It wasn't even on my website, it was just a pretty Google document, and I offered applications. So you couldn't just sign up, you had to actually apply and share why you were interested in doing this. And I was nervous to put this out because remember, I had sent 40 personal invitations and watched it completely flop just years ago. So I threw out the applications, took a deep breath, and proceeded to be amazed because the true believers, some of my dearest friends and past clients, were the first to say yes. But then here's the exciting part: they brought their friends. They didn't just bring their friends, they insisted that their friends come. I knew of several text message chains of people kind of friendly, strong arming their other friends, many of whom are also clients of mine, going, "You need to come to this. We need to all go together." And before I knew it, we had our own Business Avengers team. So within the first 2 weeks, I had sold 8 of 9 available spots. I'm capping it at 10 to include me. So I had a near sellout just on applications and folks saying, "This is not only so awesome, I need to bring my buddy along." It was so incredible, but it was not by accident, it was by design. You can't always predict what's going to happen, but I know because of this preparation, because my offer was clear, specific, and aligned, and it was built on this feedback, I didn't have to be pushy at all. I didn't have to be salesy at all. I think I sent 1 or 2 emails to say, "Hey, following up on the survey, if you're curious and want to take a closer look, here's the information. Apply if you're interested." There was zero pushiness required. People said yes because they wanted to and because I served it to them on a silver platter. I was able to build an incredible cohort of business avenging women that I can't wait to go on this experience with. And I'm still kind of blown away that I didn't have to do a big, email campaign. I didn't have to do a ton of LinkedIn posts. It was simply a short email to say, "If you want to go to Disney with me, I'm doing it next year. Apply now as spots may but go quickly." I felt really grateful and lucky that because I had put a lot of effort into getting feedback and applying it before I went out and making it application based, that I was able to create this really exciting experience that people wanted to be a part of. I used application to ensure fit, to make sure that everybody who applied would, to my knowledge, get along, complement each other's businesses. What I found is that I did have some folks who applied who were incredible, but the businesses just didn't mesh and wouldn't have been the best mix for this particular experience. So this allowed me to invite the folks that were the perfect fit, and it allowed me to fill almost all but one of the spots. And I decided to hold on to it for a minute rather than cap it at 9 total. And I'm really glad I did because it led me to the last thing I want to teach you today, which is don't force it. You don't have to convince people or put pressure. It's all about alignment. I had someone who I thought was an incredible fit for this. That when I sent the application, she said, "Oh, Annie, I'd really love to come, but I'm already going to a conference there 2 weeks later, and I think it's going to be really tricky for me to come." And I think that there are people in our industry who would get an email like that and be like, "No, you should come, and here's all the opportunities you're going to get, and blah, blah, blah." And I just said, I think there'd be great people for you there, but I completely understand. And my vision for this is that it's going to be the first of many. I hope for it to be an annual retreat. And like, you should only come if this feels good to you. I don't want you to come if it's not the right time. I felt genuinely that if this is the right time, then it will happen. And if not, it won't. And I let that person go. And literally, I think it was a month later, after I had sold almost all the spots, that I get an email. I am sitting in the Crystal Palace in Magic Kingdom with my husband and son. And I see that same person going, "Hey, is it any chance that that spot's still open?" And I said, "Yes, magic still happens. I'm so excited. I would love for you to join us." She became the perfect final addition. And all I want you to know from that is when you remove pressure and have true value, the right people come back when the time is right. You don't have to be pushy. You don't have to be salesy to sell. You are just warmly inviting. I offered the warm invite. It wasn't the right time. I let that go gracefully. And this person came back because it was right for them. That is a win all the way around. If you've been listening to this and thinking, man, this stinks, it's sold out. I want to go to a retreat at Walt Disney World. I feel you. I got you. And good news, because I have put together an interest list for our next Make More Magic retreat. Head over to greateststorycreative.com/retreat, and you can put your name down to be the first to hear the next time I offer this experience. Our upcoming one is in February of 2026. We might be offering this again in late 2026 or early 2027. If you want to be the first to hear, make sure you head on over to greateststorycreative.com/retreat. My true and ultimate dream is that Make More Magic is something I do every single year, that we're able to build an incredible community of coaches, consultants, and service business owners who want to add more magic to their business and their life. So I'd love to keep you in the loop. Join the list, and you'll be the first to hear when I open applications again. Coming around today, here's what I want you to remember if you have been holding on to a dream workshop, retreat, program, offer, or another incredible experience. The first thing I want you to do is to validate that idea. A survey can save you months, if not years, of wasted energy. The second piece, listen and adapt. Some of the best offers can be co created. And third, let go of pressure. When it fits, the right people will say yes. If you've got a big idea on the shelf, I just want to tell you, dust it off. Ask your people what they think. You may be closer than you think. Hey, do you like surprises? The credits are about to roll, but just like a Marvel movie, stick around to the end for something I put in just for you. Thanks for listening to the Establish Yourself podcast. I'm Annie Franceschi, and if you're enjoying the show, it would mean so much to me if you follow it, leave a quick rating, or share it with a friend. And for free branding resources and more ways to work together, head to greateststorycreative.com/podcast. Now here it is, your moment of magic. All right, you may have heard me rave on the show before about my favorite Disney World treat, and that is the creme brulee croissant from Gaston's Tavern in Magic Kingdom. But y'all, I am officially dethroning that today. I just went on a mommy and me trip with my son, and we stayed at All Star Movies, and we discovered edible cookie dough with a chocolate Minnie Mouse bow. It is unreal. I'm sorry, this is my new favorite. I'm sorry, croissant. It's not you. It's cookie dough. Cookie dough reigns supreme.